Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An interesting hour here on Classic Radio Theater. In our next half hour, we're going to go back to 1960 for an episode of Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding and their insanity. But right now, the West Coast program Calling All Cars. This was originally broadcast February 3rd, 1939. The story of the Careless Caretaker.
Calling All Cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 264 regarding a robbery at the Federal Reserve Bank. Assist the officers. That's all. Rosie.
Every precaution is taken nowadays to safeguard the food you eat. Rio Grande is just as particular about the health of your automobile. I believe you'll agree that we'd be very foolish indeed if, after all the painstaking care and engineering genius employed in making this pure 100% paraffin-based motor oil, we sold it in bulk, thus allowing dust and grit to get into it, thence into your motor, and eventually playing havoc with its delicate mechanism. No, Real Lube must reach the crankcase of your motor as pure, clean, strong, and positively undiluted as when it leaves the refinery. And it does, thanks to the hermetically sealed, tamper-proof cans in which this great lubricant is exclusively sold. Because of this precaution, we can guarantee that Real Lube cannot break down under the most intense heat of your motor at its highest speed. That Real Lube's smooth, rapid flow to every part of your motor cannot be slowed up even by zero weather. Everyone should have this maximum all-weather protection that costs only a quarter a quart. Get it tomorrow morning when you drive in for that tank full of Rio Grande Cracked, the gasoline that meets every emergency with real police car performance. The story we are to hear tonight came from the confidential files of the Los Angeles Police Department. Therefore, Chief of Police Davidson has asked Captain Russell Smith of the robbery detail to open our program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Occasionally, the work of the law enforcement officer becomes very amusing in retrospect. Tonight's story is such a case. Although the work at the time was most serious, in looking back on it, the officers concerned were more amused than startled by the bizarre outcome. In spite of the fact that a crime had been committed, the circumstances were such that it partook of the nature of burlesque. The seeming unintelligence of the criminal turned out to be, however, a very carefully assumed condition. But it was a condition that made the work of the officers extremely hard. I will tell you more of the story at the end of the program.
At 10 minutes past 8 on the night of Friday, November 4th, 1926, three members of the Los Angeles Police Department, Lieutenant Hawtrey, and detectives Tom O'Brien and Bud Curtis, were being ushered into an office of a bank at 2nd and Spring Streets.
Mrs. Smith, these here gentlemen, they're policemen. They're powerful anxious to see you all.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. I'm sorry I couldn't admit you personally, gentlemen. I have quite a problem on my hands. The books just won't balance.
Are you the manager of this branch bank?
Oh, dear, no, I wouldn't think of exciting the manager over such a small matter. You see, there's only $74,000 missing.
Only $74,000 stolen, and there's nothing to get excited about.
Now, please don't misunderstand me. I didn't say it was stolen. We just can't find it, and I've been checking the books all day to see if there had been a counting error. But I can't find that either.
Do you mind if I ask what you called the police for if you didn't think it had been stolen?
But the idea of anyone stealing from the Federal Reserve Bank is preposterous. I called you because I just didn't know what else to do.
Okay. Bud.
Yeah?
Go bring that colored janitor back here.
Right. Now, look, Mr. Smith. You had $74,000. Now you don't have it. Let's play a little game and pretend it was stolen.
Well, this is really very serious, but I don't see how it could possibly have been
Why
stolen.
don't you just tell us all about it, eh? We're not bookkeepers, but we can put 2 and 2 together, and lots of times we get the right answer.
Well, yesterday at closing time, we checked $370,000 in gold certificates into the vault clerks.
$370,000.
There was one bundle of $74,000 that had been set aside to redeem damaged currency.
Yeah?
But it was put on the truck and wheeled into the vault with the rest of the money. When the truck was brought out this morning, it just wasn't there.
I see.
It's the strangest thing. I've been checking and checking all the livelong day, and I'm just stumped.
You're stumped. You've given it time to get halfway across the country, and I suppose you'll think we're inefficient if we don't go lay our hands right on the crook.
Crook? How can you say such a thing?
Now, let's get down to business. How many vault clerks were there?
2. I thought you might want to talk to them. I'll go get them for you.
What do you make of it, Tom?
It's an inside job. It's just got to be. But I almost wish it wasn't, because it's going to be plenty tough.
Yeah, all these federal places seem to think an employee would be struck dead if you look cross-eyed at a dollar bill.
Here's the janitor, Tom.
You stick around, West. We want to talk to you.
Yeah, sir.
These are the vault clerks. They've all been here over 10 years.
That's from the wing sprout.
What's your name?
John Reynolds. And this is Frank Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
He came to my home for dinner and stayed all evening, and I drove him to his home. And I drove back to my home. We didn't know anything about the shortage until we came to work this morning.
This morning,
We'll check up on that later. Who else had access to the vault?
Nobody.
Who might have gotten in there after you took the truck with the money on it in there?
No one came in there. We locked the vault shortly after 4:30 and left.
Who saw you take the truck in there?
Any number of employees. I couldn't say who they were.
Did anyone come near the truck as you were wheeling it in?
No. Why should they?
Why should they? Listen, mister, I'm asking a question.
You don't
here.
understand. All of our people are completely trustworthy. They have to have the best of recommendations before we hire them.
Yeah, we know all about that, but what have you got this janitor here for?
Well, he was probably nearest to the truck. He was sweeping the floor. So I asked him to stay tonight until you got here.
All right. Did he come near the truck or didn't he?
No one came near it.
Okay, that's the way it is. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You 2 vault clerks were the last ones who saw that bundle of money. I'm going to give you just 3 minutes to think of some tangible clue to its disappearance. If you can't tell me more than you have, I'm going to take you in.
Oh, but you can't do that.
I can't find the crook in what you've told me either, but I'll do it just the same.
Hey, where you going?
Y'all mean me, sir?
Yes, you.
I've got some cleaning up to do.
Well, you stay right here. We've got some cleaning up to do, too.
Yeah, sir.
All right. I hope for your sake you've done some fast thinking. Are you ready to talk?
Well, I don't like to say anything that might sound as though we were putting the blame on somebody else to protect ourselves.
Don't worry about that angle. Just spill it.
Well, I was talking to one of the guards today, and he said he saw West, the janitor here, taking his overalls home with him. They were rolled up in a bundle.
Is that right, West?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me now. Let me guess. You were taking them home to have them washed, weren't you?
You'll have to give us something better than that, boys. You can see he has clean overalls on.
And you said yourself he didn't come near the truck.
The only other thing I can tell you is West told the guard he was quitting his job Monday.
Well, now that is something.
Say, with $74,000, he'd either tell his feet to get going or be smart enough to stay around for a few months. He wouldn't quit on Monday.
Why are you quitting on Monday, West? Did you come into an inheritance?
Come into inherit what, sir?
Why are you leaving this job? Have you got another one?
Yeah.
Where are you going to work?
Well, let me see. I don't exactly know.
I see. You mean you're going to work for someone else, but you haven't decided who it's going to be yet, huh?
I can't figure things out powerful like that.
He's not what you might call brilliant, but he came here with the highest recommendations. I looked up his application today. I can tell you anything you want to know about him.
Including the fact that he didn't take the dough.
Is he married?
Married? Let me see.
I don't suppose it'd do any good to ask West. He probably wouldn't know offhand.
Well, of course, I remember. He's married and lives at the Evening Star Apartments on Central Avenue.
Evening Star Apartments. I'll tell you what we'll do, Mr. West. Let's you and I take a little ride out to your house. I want to meet the family and all that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Sure. We'll just take potluck.
I don't know as how y'all could do that. My wife, she's awful fussy about who I brings around. Figure she out tonight anyhow.
Oh, that's all right. I'll even help you crawl in a window if she has you locked up. Let's go.
But, Mr. Officer, she ain't, I ain't got a wife.
Why, Mr. West, do you mean an employee has so misrepresented his status?
And in the Evening Star Apartments?
Well, I don't live out there. I just said I had a wife because I thought I'd have more chance of getting a job if I had a wife. They think I'd be more of a responsible man.
Well, I think you're a responsible man, West. So we're going for a little ride. Just because I think you're responsible for $74,000.
February 3rd, 1939, Calling All Cars on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater family, you know our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. He created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, because, you know, I'm working like 67 hours a day. Now, Mike's offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets ever. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. You'll never want to sleep on anything else once you slept on a set of Giza Dream sheets. A special offer for you right now. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. Call 1-800-928-4715. Use the promo code Wyatt. Or go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Wyatt. It's good on anything on the website. That number again, 1-800-928-4715. Use my promo code Wyatt. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. February 3rd, 1939, the early police procedural, Calling All Cars.
Sir?
Now, look, West. We'll be at your house in a few minutes. We'll get the money and everything will be cleared up except one thing. Why did you steal it?
Honest, Mr. Officer, I didn't steal nothing, nohow.
Listen, West, we know how you did it. You were sweeping the floor as the truck went by. When the clerks weren't looking, you took the package off the truck, you wrapped it up in your overalls and brought it home. Now, why'd you steal it?
I wouldn't steal nothing, nohow. I ain't that kind of a fella.
What does your wife think about you having all that money?
She don't think nothing about anything, 'cause I ain't got a wife.
Does she know you haven't got a wife?
Place ought to be in this block, Audrey.
Yeah, quite a neighborhood, isn't it?
Hey, what are you stopping here for? It's a vacant lot.
What? Say, are you sure this is the place?
This is the address he gave us.
All right, now come on, Mr. West. Just tell us where you really live. We have all evening and lots of gasoline.
Well, I don't live no place. I just sleeps in empty houses and places like that.
Oh, come on. Let's lock him up and find out where he lives tomorrow. This is getting monotonous.
I'm going to get this cleared up tonight. Now, for the last time, West, where do you live?
A place on 16th Street. I can't remember the number. I'll tell you all when we get there, though.
Let's go, Audrey. We got another clue. Westward Road.
Hey, this looks like an empty house.
Of course it's an empty house. Mr. West lives here.
Well, I'll be... Listen, West. I'm getting sick and tired of your stalling. It isn't going to get you anyplace.
It's getting us someplace all over Los Angeles.
Now, you're going to tell us where you live, or aren't you?
I moved a powerful lot. You all got me so excited. I was all mixed up.
Oh, you shouldn't drive so fast, Audrey. You've got Mr. West all excited.
Well, let's everybody be real calm. Try to think of something soothing, West, like a piece of watermelon.
Yeah.
Now, look, where do you live?
I reckon it's over yonder on 24th Street.
You reckon that's really the place?
Pull hard to starboard, Audrey. We got another reckoning.
But try as he would, or wouldn't, West could not remember exactly where he lived. He led the officers all over the southwestern part of Los Angeles. Finally, their patience and gasoline exhausted, they came to a halt on a dusky side street.
Stop the motor, Audrey. Let's get out and stretch our legs. You stay in the car, West.
Yeah.
Rest that imagination of yours, because it's really going to get a working over.
Yeah.
I still say we should have thrown him in a can. Personally, I'd like to make his memory wake up with a good poke in the snoot.
Yeah, me too. He's making monkeys out of us.
That's just what we're going to do.
Hey, wait a minute. We can't do that. It isn't legal.
Well, he's right. It's not legal. Much as I'd like to get around Mr. West on a technicality, it still would be against the law.
Oh, wait a minute, you guys. Of course, we aren't really going to harm our forgetful friend, but there's no law that says we can't think about it, is there?
If there is, I've broken it plenty.
And there's no law that says we can't speak our thoughts out loud to the prisoner, is there?
If there is, I've never heard of it.
Okay, what are we waiting for? Boys, he's beaten around the bush with us long enough. Now it's our turn to do a bit of beating around the bush.
What y'all getting at?
We're going to get at you, sonny boy.
Yeah, we tried being nice to him, but he don't seem to understand that sort of treatment.
Oh, Hartley, get that rope out that's under the front seat.
Rope? What y'all messing around with rope for?
Oh, this is going to hurt us more than it does him.
Oh, I can't help it if my memory won't promulgate. Honest, I can't.
If he'd only tell us where he went last night.
Yeah, tell us where he put the money he stole.
Oh, I didn't steal no money. I just couldn't do nothing like that. I was a good boy.
All right, you're a good boy. Are you a good runner?
I was a very good... Is a good boy? I was good. What you mean?
Did you notice how fast this car could go?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you think you could run that fast?
Y'all mean that fast with my own feet and legs?
You can try it on your hands if you want to.
No, sir. I couldn't do that no matter how scared I was.
Well, that's too bad, Wes. Too bad. Because you know what we're going to do?
No, sir.
We're going to tie this rope around your waist. Then we're going to tie the end of the rope to the back of the car and start moving.
That's just what we're going to do.
Waist, rope. Oh, Lord, y'all can't do nothing like that now, huh?
Not if you tell us where that money is.
We'll get it sooner or later, anyhow.
But we'll get it tonight or else.
I didn't steal that money. I didn't steal nothing. My mammy and pappy teach me not to steal.
And if there's anything left of you after we get done leading you around where all your friends can see you, we'll take you up to a nice, spooky graveyard and tie you to a gravestone.
And at 12 o'clock, the ghosts come out of the graves. And what they do to a colored boy that can't run is nobody's business.
Oh, Lord. You got Daniel from the lion's den, the Hebrew children from the fire furnace. You got to get me out of this mess.
I need a smoke. We got absolutely no place with that idea. What do we do now?
Let him sit in the car and calm down. Come on over here where he can't hear us.
Yeah.
Gee, you guys almost had me scared. I feel sorry for the poor little runt.
Yep, there's something screwy. I'm about ready to believe him.
After the runaround he's been giving us? No, we're just using the wrong tactics. He said a couple of things that gave me an idea, though. Let's try again. Follow my cues.
Why not? We can't get any less out of him.
Listen, Wes, my boy.
Yeah?
You know we wouldn't really have done any of those things to you now, don't you?
Yes, I know.
Why, we wouldn't think of harming a nice fellow like you, West.
Of course not, West. We like you, and what's more, we believe you.
Sure.
Yeah.
An honest fellow like you wouldn't think of stealing.
No, sir.
You must have a very fine mammy and pappy.
Yes, I is.
Where are they?
They're in Alabama.
Alabama?
And they wouldn't like it if you stole anything, would they?
No, sir.
It'd make them very unhappy if they heard you'd stolen anything, now wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. They'd all feel powerfully bad.
Well, of course, we know you didn't steal anything, but everybody doesn't know what a fine, honest boy you are. Now, the news is going to get around that you're accused of stealing that money. And then what will your mammy and pappy think?
Then how will they feel?
Won't they be ashamed of it?
Just about bust them all up.
They're fine people, aren't they?
Yeah, sir.
Now, the point is, West, we know that you just borrowed the money or took it home for safekeeping. But if your mammy and pappy heard about it, they might think you stole it. And it would just break their hearts.
Now, where did you put the money?
Well, I reckon y'all better come on down my house and get it. I lives a few doors down the street here.
By an amazing coincidence, the officers had parked just a few doors from where West actually lived with his wife. The prisoner calmly handed over the package of money and was rushed back to the Federal Reserve Bank, where more problems of a more puzzling nature awaited the officers.
Well, Mr. Smith, there's your money. Money that no completely trustworthy employee would think of stealing.
Why, West, I am terribly disappointed in you.
Look, if you don't mind, I'd like to finish this case up and forget about it, so if you'll just count the money.
Yes, of course. I guess you must be tired.
You've no idea how tired, Mr. Smith.
It doesn't look as though it's even been opened. Oh, yes. Yes, it has, here in one corner.
Any of it missing?
Let's see, it was in $1,000 bundles. Yes, there's some gone. I'll tell you how much in a minute.
Oh, are we going to have to start all over again?
All right, West. Where's the rest of the money you took?
I didn't take no money. Honest, I didn't.
If you say that just once again, I'll... Oh, what's the use?
Come on, West. It won't do any good to hold out on us now.
I ain't holding out on y'all. I'll give you all the money back. Y'all think I'd keep just a little bit of money when I could have had all of it? Most $5,000, I guess.
$5,000?
Is $5,000 as high as you can count, West?
Didn't do no count.
It's just $2,100 short, gentlemen.
2,100, huh? Okay, let's start all over again.
Why did you keep that little bitty money?
Where did you put it?
What did you do with it?
Think of the trouble you're causing.
Think of the shame of it.
And think of your mammy and pappy.
Now, listen here. Let me tell y'all something. That ain't no...
There were 21 $100 bills.
Why did you have to
now
say
you've broken
that?
the spell.
If anybody says start over... Hey, wait a minute. Hold everything.
Look at that. I got a little in this pocket.
Here, give it to me. 7, 9, 10.
$1,000?
No, just 10 single dollars.
And a little bit here in this your pocket.
Here, let me count this. Maybe I'll be lucky. 10, 15, 20.
And a little bit in this your pocket.
Let me try my luck. Maybe I'll hit the jackpot. 10, 12, 14, 15. That makes $45 altogether.
At this rate, we'll be here all night if his pockets hold out.
The suspense of this thing is driving me nuts. Come on, Wes. Come on. Where's the rest of it?
That's all.
That's all. The beautiful simplicity of it stuns me.
Wait.
Well, we can't wait. We've got our bottom of the hour break. Going back to February 3rd, 1939, calling all cars in the case of the Careless Caretaker. Thank you so much for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station. And if you think this is something, wait till we get to Bob and Ray next half hour. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, that's me. Now the conclusion of Calling All Cars, a West Coast program from February 3rd, 1939 in The Careless Caretaker.
Maybe if I go through his pockets, we'll have more luck. Hold still, Davis.
Don't know why we didn't do that before.
Oh, $45 wouldn't prove anything and might be his money.
Mr. Officer, I did take one bill out that there package of 50, and I spent $5 for some clothes. But, I'll give that back to you if you want me to.
What? Do you mean to say you're actually admitting that you stole $5?
No, sir. I didn't steal nothing, no.
Oh, my.
Well, you asked for it.
Uh-oh. What's this? A sales receipt for a Durant automobile dated yesterday. $300 made out to West.
So, you sold an automobile for $300 yesterday?
Yeah, sir. Old car I've been riding around in.
That explains where he got the $45.
But he's already admitted he stole a $50 bill from the package.
I tell y'all I didn't steal it.
In my entire career as a detective, I've never been so completely befuddled.
You know, I can't help wanting to believe the guy. Hey, look, Bud, why don't you look through my pockets, eh? Maybe I stole it.
If I may offer a suggestion...
Oh, no, you don't, Mr. Smith. No. We're mixed up enough as it is without any help along that line from you.
Are you sure you looked in all his pockets, Bud?
Yeah, he's as clean as a whistle. Wait a minute. I take that back.
Well, his overalls are clean anyway.
No, I mean I missed this pocket. It's a parking lot ticket.
So what?
Yeah, but it's dated today.
Today? And he sold his car yesterday. West, what have you got parked in there on this ticket?
Uh-huh.
You heard me. If you sold your car yesterday, what did you park in this lot today?
Let me see. Look, I can't remember exactly.
Oh, there goes his memory again.
Well, that's a sign we're on the track of something.
Yes, I think so. But if West thinks he's going to take us to every auto park in town before he remembers which one, I'm going crazy.
No chance. The address is on the ticket.
That's the first break we've had tonight. Let's go.
You gentlemen have overlooked a psychological angle.
Maybe we have, Mr. Smith, but you look at the psychology and we'll look for the money.
Come, Mr. West.
And this time we'll lead the way.
Yeah, sir.
Are you sure this is the place, Bud?
Yeah, this is the place, all right.
I knew this would be a blank. We found it too easy.
It sure is deserted.
Look, West, if you sold your car yesterday, what did you park in here today?
I reckon I parked the car in here.
You parked the car in here. It isn't here now. Whose car was it?
Well, let me see. I can't remember.
For crying out loud, will you stop talking like
Wait
you
a
had
minute, wait. What's that way back there in the corner, Bud?
I don't know. It's so dark I can't see a thing.
Say, I think that is a car. Let's go back and see.
Yeah, it's a car, all right. And it's a brand new one.
It sure is new. Looks like a Chrysler. Yep, a Chrysler 80.
We might as well saved our steps.
Well, it's funny anyone would leave a car like this in here after the lot had closed. I mean, new.
See what name it's registered under.
Hasn't got a license on it.
No license, huh?
You have the same idea I have.
Listen, West, did you buy an automobile today?
Yes.
You did, huh? Well, I'll be...
Why didn't you tell us so?
Y'all didn't ask me.
How much does a car like this cost?
Well, at a guess, I'd say between $2,300 and $2,400.
That's it. If it was $2,350, he got $300 for his old Durant. That would make it $2,050. And he had almost $50 in his pockets.
Making it $2,100, the exact amount that's missing.
All right. Now, West, look. You admit you bought this car, don't you?
Yes.
Well, in the face of this, you certainly aren't going to stick to your story that you didn't steal the money, are you?
No, well, let me see. What y'all mean?
Do you still say you didn't steal the money?
Yes.
Well, who did steal it then?
Nobody didn't steal nothing. Wouldn't do nothing like that, no.
For the last time. Now, listen, West. We've been nice to you, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We've let you lead us all around town when we could have put you right in jail and found out these things later. You appreciate that, don't you?
Yes.
And all we've done is ask you little bitsy questions. Now, look, if you'll just tell us the truth, we'll try to see that you get off very easily. Won't that be nice?
Yes.
Then, if you're telling the truth and you didn't steal it, who did steal it?
Who was working with you?
Who are you trying to protect?
Did somebody steal it for you?
You know it was stolen?
Somebody in the bank stole it.
You stole it and you know you did.
Look at you. Wait a minute.
Come on, you stole it, didn't you?
Come on.
I didn't steal nothing, nohow.
Once again to the bank trudged the disgruntled detectives, certain they had solved the crime, but quite uncertain about the circumstances surrounding it and the criminal.
Well, Mr. Smith, we found you missing $2,100.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Do you have it with you?
No, Mr. Smith. We didn't have the keys to it.
The keys to it? What do you mean?
We mean your $2,100 has been changed into a Chrysler automobile.
Mr. West did it with his magic wand.
He must have, because he didn't steal it. He says he didn't.
Well, this is terrible, terrible.
Yes, it's awful, isn't it?
Why did you steal that money, West?
I didn't steal no money, nohow, Mr. Smith.
There you are, Mr. Smith. A perfect example of a careful caretaker. You see, he was just going to take care of it for you.
Gentlemen, I still think you're overlooking a psychological angle of the case.
Maybe we are overlooking a psychological angle of this case, but we'll save that angle for the judge to look at.
Judge? What for y'all talking about a judge?
We're talking about the judge. You're going to try to persuade you didn't steal that money.
Mrs. Smith, does they all mean they're going to put me in jail?
I'm afraid they do, West. I'd like to believe you, but the evidence is pretty much against you.
What's against me?
It looks like you stole that package. Otherwise, how could it have gotten to your house?
Oh, I'm just doing my job as janitor and caretaker.
Just doing his job as janitor and care... Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. What do you mean, West?
Oh, I always takes home the trash and stuff and sweeps up the floor. Mrs. Smith, he know that.
Yes, I know that, West.
And when I get the job here, the man, he say he gets $15 a week, and what I found.
Found? Wait a minute. Mr. Smith, would it have been possible for that package to be knocked against the wall as the truck was being wheeled into the vault?
Quite possible.
And would it be possible, as it was knocked off, to have fallen onto the floor?
That's the psychological angle, boys. West didn't steal it.
No, I didn't steal nothing, no. I sure enough found that package on the floor. And it says I can keep everything I found on the floor.
In just a moment, Captain Smith will conclude our program. In the meantime, friends, whenever you look at the gauges on your instrument panel, think of Rio Grande's great combination of protection and power. For the safest and surest protection that money can buy for your motor, Riolube Motor Oil. For maximum power at minimum cost, Rio Grande Cracked, the police car performance gasoline. And now, Captain Smith.
West was tried in the Superior Court, but he stuck to his story. The arresting officers felt that they had resorted to methods which, in their opinion, might be construed as intimidating. For that reason, they refused to appear against West. He was found guilty, however, and sentenced to a year in the county jail.
Thank you, Captain Smith. Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Cancellation of broadcast 264 regarding a robbery. Suspect in this case sentenced to term in the county jail. That's all. Rose.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
Now, see, that is not only racist, but also discriminatory, because the guy just did what he was told to do. He got a year in county jail. Calling all cars, February 3rd, 1939 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Do not try to make sense out of what you're going to hear over the next 10 minutes. Bob Elliott, Ray Goulding, Bob and Ray, February 3rd, 1960 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
And now, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network. Keep it up. I like to hear that fella play that instrument.
Really got strong wrist.
Anyway, Johnny?
Who plays the banjo, yeah.
Did you make that arrangement, Johnny?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think we've got a good one here this evening.
We hope so, anyway. And we're going to start off quickly now with something that we think you're going to enjoy and you'll respond to in typical Bob and Ray listener reaction. Listen to this. Friends, this is no ordinary sale of land.
That's right. We're not going to enter into pushy recitals about a piece of desert acreage that will be skyrocketing in value because of the ocean soon to be built there.
Or about fabulous plans to build a 7,000-room luxury motel right on the shores of that brand-new modern ocean.
That's all storybook stuff. Nonsense.
We're not knocking fly-by-night real estate operators. They've got to make a killing, too.
But those swindlers, we feel, are doing it the wrong way.
You see, in order to start a prosperous community, you need the people there first, not the land. And the more people you get, the more prosperity there will be for all.
Well, that's where we come in. We can get you all the people you need to start a typical community before a single building, ocean, golf course, or highway school or planned recreation center is built.
We have the answer right here. It's the Bob and Ray portable, collapsible picket fence. Guaranteed to start a new city.
Properly used, this item can bring in enough people to start a city the size of Pittsburgh overnight. And here's the way it works.
Go to the bleakest, most uninhabitable spot in this country of ours. When you get there, open the Bob and Ray portable, collapsible picket fence to its full dimensions. 4 feet high, 7 feet long, and anchor the end poles into the ground.
Then get behind the Bob and Ray portable, collapsible picket fence and stay there.
That's all there is to it.
Within a few seconds, a person will appear out of nowhere. He'll look over the top of the fence and ask you what you're doing.
Say nothing. The person will leave.
In half an hour, he'll be back with 2 friends. They will ask you what you're doing.
Say nothing. They will go. Do not abandon your position behind the fence.
You won't have long to wait. Very short order, you'll hear some automobiles pulling up close to the fence. The occupants will shout from the cars, ask you what you're doing.
Don't answer. One of the automobiles will leave and begin to bring in carloads of people. Already there's a taxi service.
Competition being what it is, another car will start operating as a taxi, but at a lower rate.
Stay out of it. Stay behind your fence. There's lots going on out there.
That's right. People are flooding the area at a fantastic rate. The taxis have been replaced by the more practical bus.
People who prefer to walk have paved the area.
Several office buildings have been erected so that people will know where they're walking to. Now, by now, many are driving their own cars to work.
By this time, there are homes, shopping areas, an airport, a mayor, and a major league ball club.
And still the people continue to pour in. New problems are being created.
Problems of a new city.
Transportation's a headache. There's a population shift to the suburbs. The Reform Party has impeached the mayor. Slums are developing, and there aren't enough teachers for the 1.5 million school children.
A large park has been built around you and your fence, the same fence you were crouching behind during the morning hours.
But now the first shadows of night are falling over the new city.
This is the time for you to pick up your Bob and Ray portable, collapsible picket fence and get out of the park.
Before you're mugged.
Literature is available on the fence.
Address your cards to Start a City, CBS Radio, 485 Madison Avenue, New York.
And now, a sad theme, please.
Welcome to the Concerto of Life, the story of Ricky Bardell, Sardine Cannery Employee, a man who didn't think too much of himself, and of Myra Mannersley, the grande dame of the musical world, a woman who thought too much of Ricky's talent at the piano.
Hey, Ricky boy, you look out what you do. The fish you pick is too large for small sardine can there.
Well, what is such a large fish doing in fish bin? You tell me that, Louis, and when you tell me that, you tell me something, huh?
You got good spirit, Ricky. You talk right back. Answer me. Someday you and me buy a boat. We'd be best sardine fishermen all up and down coast.
Maybe, Louis, maybe. It's an idea I like, but...
Hey, Ricky, you still thinking of piano, huh?
Well, it is a thought I think about all the time.
Piano playing is crazy. It's for children. Ricky, you listen to Louis. You forget piano playing. Listen, what you're doing tonight. You're going to see that crazy old woman again, huh?
Louis, she thinks I play piano very fine, and she's bringing a maestro to her home tonight so he may hear me play.
She's a crazy old woman, Ricky. Many times you tell me she hit you there with the cane when you play piano for her. She must be crazy, no?
Last Tuesday, Louis, she say she don't hit me with cane no more. She say I'm ready to play for maestro. I play tonight, Louis.
You one big fool, Ricky. But I wish you good fortune in your foolishness. If you must play, Ricky, play like the wind.
Well, Maestro, as you can see, our Ricky Bardell isn't much to look at, but with luck we should be able to begin his concert tour.
Well, we shall see, Mrs. Mandersley. First I must hear him play, and I would hope that my trip from the conservatory was not wasted. Tell our Mr. Bardell to play, madame.
Ricky, will you favor the Maestro with a selection?
Sure. Stop playing at once.
Maestro, what is it?
These birds. What are they doing in here?
I'm sorry, Maestro. You see, Mr. Bardell is employed at a sardine cannery, and, well, birds are naturally attracted to it.
That may very well be, madam, but we cannot concertize with birds accompanying his native talent.
Then you think Mr. Bardell is talented, Maestro?
Outrageously so, madam. This is an extravagant talent. But what of the birds? He'd be laughed out of the best concert halls in Europe if birds flew in while he was playing.
Maestro, I have it. When Mr. Bardell plays, we'll keep all the doors and windows closed.
That would seem a sensible solution, madam.
Ricky, can you play with the doors and windows closed?
Not me. I'm, how you'd say, fresh of fond air.
Fresh of fond air, Ricky?
That's right. I think I'm going to business with Louis. We can have one big fish in the business all up and down the coast.
Is Nicky or Ricky Bardell a great talent to be lost to the world for all time? Is it Ricky or Nicky? Thank you. Or will Myra Mannersley persuade him to concertize with all the doors and windows closed? We'll learn the answer soon here on the Concerto of Life.
Maybe another interesting episode next week, huh?
Next week, yes, that's right. Hey, we saw an interesting thing the other day, and fortunately, we had our wrist tape machine with us.
Boy, those come in handy, don't they?
Boy, we just turned it on and caught this wonderful thing. It was in a restaurant not too far from Midtown here. So, if you thread that up, let's listen to it, shall we?
Yes, sir. How many will you be, please?
Just one.
All right, right this way, please. How will this be?
This is fine.
You see that, if you will, I'll get you a menu in just a minute.
Thank you very much. One alone.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Anytime you're ready, I'll...
Do you have a kiddie menu?
What's that, sir?
Do you have a kiddie menu?
A kiddie menu?
Yes. I like those menus.
Well, this is our regular menu. We have a children's menu, sir.
Could I look at it, please?
Well, why?
Well, Well, I don't want to eat this. Just children.
I mean, you want to order from the children's
Yes,
menu?
I like children portions, and I like to have my meat cut up for me.
But you're an adult. I mean, this is kind of a regular, you know?
Yes, but it's what I like to. To eat. Could I have
Don't you feel kind of silly ordering
Yes,
from
but I wish you wouldn't make some people look just...
Well, I'll have to ask the manager. I don't know whether we can let you order from that or not.
Ask him if he has turkey lurkey with gravy.
Well, if you'll... Wait just a minute.
Because I like
that. Sir, Mr. Furphy?
Yeah?
That gentleman over at table 25 wants a kiddie menu. It's never happened before. I don't know whether I should give it to him or not.
There's probably some whack. Go ahead, give it to him. It's not any trouble.
Yes. All right, here you are. The manager
thank
says
you. Oh, boy. Let me see here. Humpty Dumpty egg salad, Loomis muffet, curds and whey pudding, Old Mother Hubbard's boneless.
You're bending the menu, the old woman in the shoe menu there, sir.
That's nice, isn't it?
We think it's
nice.
Rather cute. But
well, I think that's what I'll have. I'll have the turkey lurkey with gravy and cat and fiddle mashed squash.
Turkey lurkey with gravy.
And,
how about winding up with a silver bell and cockle shell salad, sir?
All right. And then for dessert, I think I'll have the curds and whey pudding with a lollipop in it.
All right. I'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
That where the tape end, wasn't it?
Right there, yeah.
He was a whack, we discovered.
It turned out he was crazy. But then again, he wasn't too hungry, and he couldn't eat an adult-sized portion, I believe.
Well, doggone it, we don't have time to thank all the people that made this show possible again today.
See, it's too bad. But we have to run right now.
We'll be back to wind up the show in just 10 seconds.
Okay, Bob, let's wind it up,
All right, we decided to be here tomorrow.
Good. Till then, Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding, wacky, zany, Bob and Ray, as it was originally broadcast on February 3rd, 1960. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this radio station, please, and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Also, visit my webpage if you have a moment, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and you can contact me, classicradio.stream, including information on all of our social media links. And do me a favor, my friends, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. Our shows are available through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And I am Wyatt Cox. And do me a favor, tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Tell them all. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.